They are doing their vetoes at the moment. The first map will be Amy. Second map will be El Dorado. Basically the golden wall of 2024. The third map will be Ultra Love. So we are going to see a bunch of the new maps, which makes me happy. And they are going to hop into game. Well, they'll let us know what the game 4 and 5 is going to be. Elazer is going to log in on a different account and name that one Elazer for us. Otherwise, we'd have to deal with 1 hour of who is Clockwork, who is Clockwork. I don't want that for the main event. The question is, will Elazer build any spores or lose 10 drones to an Oracle? Elazer is known for skipping spores, but obviously queens are more expensive right now, so I think there is a good chance we'll see Elazer build spores. Of course, if Elazer is in top tier shape, if we're thinking of the days where Elazer was the best Zerg in the foreign scene, because those days absolutely did exist. He had great runs at BlizzCons. Once upon a time, Elazer was the only non-Korean player ever to make it into the semi-finals of BlizzCon. That was a record until obviously Serral decided to win it all, because that's just what Serral does. Over the years, Elazer's had his ups and downs. Last few months, he's obviously been playing a lot of Stormgate. If he's not playing Stormgate, he's playing Deadlock. He's incredibly good in Deadlock, like really, really, really good. Basically, Lambo level, Mixu level. Like, I'm very, very impressed by how good Elazer is. But he's still one hell of a Starcraft 2 player as well. And I think he's still like a minor favorite coming into this, but Gerald is a lot more active. We'll see. It should be fun. The Elazer, the spores didn't need get buffed. Ready, guys? Good luck and fun. I'm sure that Elazer likes my nickname, as I am 7. Surprised he ain't Kelvin. Elazer is a Kelvin main. His Dynamo is very good too, but his Kelvin is a work of art. You go with Gerald. Yeah, Gerald is definitely the way more active player. He's the one who has currently traveled from Poland over to the UK to participate in the Epic LAN as well. In the end, guys, I think this has still been a very fun Friday. We did have a lot of downtime, a lot of waiting, and that obviously sucked. I promise you guys, next week it will not be like that. It's going to be a lot smoother again. But I wanted to do something different, give some love to the guys over in the UK, and just make it a fun night all together. We did see some different MMRs. We did get to see at least one really epic series. Let's hope we have one more. For the last time tonight, we're going to get it on over here on Amy.
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight!
In the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who is no longer representing Storm Gaming. He is now representing the Streamer Zone, trying to make their newest team captain proud. That is Grant. This is Gerald. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of one of the very best Stormgate players on the planet, and one hell of a Kelvin, and a pretty good Dynamo too, hailing from Poland, representing the good old mighty Team Liquid. This is Elazer. Elazer definitely the player with the higher peaks, but whatever you did in the past, it doesn't really help you in the year 2024. I actually experienced this a lot, guys. People got very good in this game, and Gerald is someone who's always been very active, always plays a lot, and his motivation is absolutely still there. Shout out to Donbot for the Prime, appreciate it. So many subbies still, guys. When is that September magic wearing off? I guess it's this week, because it was mostly the final week of September. I'm excited for this. Very curious to see what a PvZ looks like on this level. These are obviously by far and away the two best players that we get to see tonight. Even if Paddy Mac in a PvP can obviously make life very hard on Gerald. Don't think Paddy Mac quite has the PvZ to make Elazer sweat, but it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. This is the map with all those rocks in the center. I actually think it's very trippy. It's a bit of a Stormgate map, no, guys? With this full center that's closed off. The only thing I'm missing here is a creep camp and a Luminite tower. No, Luminite. No, Luminite. No, shall we? Yes, do that, not do that. Okay. Your wife says my voice is hot, lol. I'll take it. Thank you. Shout out to your wife, mate. Bit of a derpy edge here with units going up and down. In case you guys ever wonder, does this mean that now units get high ground vision? No, that's just a visual bug. It's been around for a while. We had it on Pride of Altaras. We had it on Golden Aura. It's just a thing. It shouldn't be there. It's there. It's silly, but it doesn't change anything. Hello, Reynor. So, Reynor, I've heard you said a Zerg is unplayable. Have you tried selecting it outside of the Summoner's Rift? That's what I'm wondering about right now. Because I know, if you have to choose between Misfortune and Sona and Zerg, yeah, it's hard to find the Zerg button, but have you actually tried to select it over here, mate? Unbelievable, what a guy. You haven't even downloaded the PTR, have you? Right now, Reynor, be 100% honest with me. Did you download the PTR? And don't BS me. Give it to me straight up, champ. Did you download the PTR? Because I... See, guys, so unplayable. He hasn't even downloaded it yet. It's unbelievable. What a guy. What a guy. Elazer gets a cancel on the 3rd. That's obviously pretty big. Did not kill anything yet, but 100 resources down the drain. Gerald, you gotta be careful, mate. Because spore crawlers, they slap right now. I don't know if there is like a haze sitting at the bottom of that spore crawler, but sweet baby Jesus, the DPS of these things is hard. And I do think this is something that's gonna have a very big impact on PvZ. If all the changes, the way that they currently are proposed, stay, you're gonna see, I don't want to say like a whole lot less oracles, but I definitely think a bit less. You're gonna see more Twilight openings, maybe some creative robo plays for all I know. Perhaps we'll throw in some Phoenixes again, but I don't think every single PvZ is always gonna be Oracle, because it's a lot harder for oracles to find damage now. Every spore attack is a Vindictus knife. You know, honestly, mate, I think I have been hurt so many times by Vindicta that at this point I no longer get upset. I went through like a 3-day period where every single Vindicta snipe would tilt me and I would jump out of my chair and be like, no! But now I just accept that it's there. The sound doesn't scare me anymore. If I ever drop below 400 HP at minute 5, I'm like, that's it, I'm dead. Like, acceptance has sunk in. And I don't know if that's good. Elazer is building a silly amount of hatcheries. Now the hatcheries did obviously get cheaper. Queens got more expensive. Is this what we're dealing with, guys? 5 hatches? I see a lair and 3 hatcheries on the production tab. Whenever I play Deadlock, my game sounds are very loud. So that snipe, legitimately, when I didn't expect it, it scared the ever-living crap out of me a couple times. Like what I did, I jumped up on my chair, I hit my knee on my desk. But now, acceptance. I know it's gonna come. That's it, I messed up, guys. I took 3 shots of real damage, I deserve to die. Elazer sent a little Zergling run by the bottom side, but Gerald dealt with it. Sure, he lost a pylon or 2, but he's also moving out with Stalkers and a bunch of adepts. He doesn't quite have Blink yet, but it is about to finish up. +1 is about to finish up, but he can't really stick around against this many Zerglings. If I think of Prime Elazer, the glory days of Elazer, it was a lot about Banelings. And of course, back then, Banelings were better. +2 Banelings, one-shot workers, and I think that is one of the things that truly made Elazer Elazer. But Elazer's never really been like the ultimate turtle Zerg, right? Like sit back, make static defenses, build Vipers and Infestors. Can he do it? Of course he can do it. But is that his bread and butter? Is that what makes him happy? Is that where he really shines? No. Elazer, I feel, by definition, proper swarmy Zerg. Just make a lot of units and send it and keep looking for damage. It seems like Elazer is going to try to be a little bit aggressive here in game 1 of the main event. Of course, final series of the night has the highest amount of prize money. 150 bucks for the winner, 50 for the loser. A very Zergy Zerg is what Wingen says. Yeah. That's a lot of stasis traps, by the way. Have we been abusing that battery thing? Elazer just activates it with a bunch of Zerglings and doesn't think twice about it. Creep, I feel like it's already noticeably, maybe that's also a map thing, right? Maybe it's hard to get creep up the ramps, but noticeably a little bit less than before. Queen count currently at 5. Nidus goes up in the corner of the main. Let's follow Gerald's camera. Gerald sees it. Immediately warps in 5 Zealots with charge. And he is going to shut down this first Nidus attempt. You already have a fleet beacon, mate. You already have a fleet beacon. It's like literally right here. Pretty expensive building, guys. But it's okay. We have spoken a couple of times about nerves. I don't think Gerald gets mega nervous, but there is obviously pressure. He's putting so much money in buildings right now. 2 more robos? Okay, those are the first 2 robos, but still. Double robo, double fleet beacon. One of these things is not like the other. Yeah, building a second cybercore or something can be painful, but fleet beacons are really expensive. Elazer is desperately looking for a fight, and Gerald's army is kind of small, and that's really where it goes to show that he put so many resources into all those expensive buildings. The robos, the fleet beacons, that stuff is not for free. As Elazer also has Hydras in the center working on these probes. We have a Nidus coming up. Wow, this is chaos. Now it is hard for Elazer to break Gerald here, but I do think this is the kind of Starcraft that people in general get excited over. A little fight here, a bigger fight here, an harassment attempt there. It is good stuff. As Gerald does blink and he's going to win the fight against the Hydras. Elazer is on 94 drones. That is such a high number that you do kind of want to keep on trading. Because if Gerald ever maxes out, he's going to have a much better army than you do. Obviously, Elazer knows that. Snipes the Oracle, snipes the second Oracle. Stalkers a recall to this base. But Hydras and Zerglings are right on top of it, and the floodgates are absolutely open. Or they're on, as Ben would say, a native speaker. But that doesn't really make any sense. These floodgates are open, Zerglings and Hydras are here, and they are nibbling their way through every single stalker. Cannons and batteries cannot save Gerald. Elazer just has way too much here. Gerald could not get the army supply up. I think especially the double fleet beacon really painful here. But I also think building 2 robos, like you have 2 robos and 2 fleet beacons, and do you know what we got out of it, guys? Nothing. Not 1 immortal, not 1 observer, not 1 colossus, not 1 disruptor, not 1 carrier, not 1 tempest. Like that is a crazy amount of resources that never came into play. I think that's just a little bit too much against a man like Elazer, who is going to send it. You can't be spending thousands of resources on stuff that never comes into play. I think he used it on 1 Oracle couple. I think he used it on 1 Oracle. And of course he knows that we're on the PTR. Because he had to log into it. And he's been watching the entire evening of video games. And we're on a new map. And game 2 will be played, guys, on El Dorado. And when I looked at it earlier, I was like, man, this map is a lot like Golden Wall. And then Gemini in the chat said it's literally Golden Wall. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I see Golden Wall. When he has never been rude in his life. Reynor was rude to me yesterday in the DMs. You know what's funny? If I ever say something that I know like maybe slightly hit home at Reynor, then he leaves me on red. Then he doesn't respond. And then the next day I send another message. I'm like, oh, did I hurt your feelings? And he's like, shut up, dickhead. That's when I know I got to him. That's when he know, like the old man made a point. And he couldn't handle it. So then he leaves me on red for 24 hours. And then lets me know how he really felt about it. Game 2. El Dorado. The modern equivalent of Golden Wall.
Round 2. Fight!
El Dorado also means the golden one in Spanish, more or less. Might be on purpose, guys. It might be on purpose. In the bottom left side of El Dorado, we are looking at the main base of our Polish Protoss. He's down 0-1. Let's stay away from the double fleet beacon, shall we? You know, new patch, new map pool, exciting, I get it. But double fleet beacon, guys, I don't want to exclude any strategies on the first day, but that's not a game. That's not a play. It will never be meta. Let's stay away from the double beacon, streamer zone, and Gerald. Golden Wall, the map where Roddy beat Neep in the weekly cup. I don't remember that. When I 2-0'd Neep, I mean, you're the one who brought it up, not me. I think we played on Curious, no, not Curious Minds. I know the map name. The second one was the big one, that Evergreen or something. Everlast, Evergreen, whatever. That was map 2. But map 1 was the bottom left, top right with the rich Vespian geyser. When I think of that map, I always think of Braddock going for the one base all in against Big Gabe. And Big Gabe, who always talks about people ever dream, was the map. Yeah, exactly. But the other one, not Evergreen, I don't know map name. I'm very bad with map names. But the map where Big Gabe went triple CC and never moved past his own natural. And then Braddock was setting up the ultimate one base all in. And when Gabe finally floated over his third command set to land it, there were a bunch of tanks and liberators shelling away at his natural. Very fun memories. It's also the map where Goblin got the Blink Stalker all in over Elazer and eliminated Elazer, but I'm very bad with map names. Anyway, bottom right side, guys, taking a 1-0 lead in a very swarmy way, and 5 hatcheries, 94 drones. Team Liquids, Elazer. Is that the map where I played 4 Niners versus Gabe? It's a map that you played a lot of games on versus Clem. I'm thinking if there's any noticeable game that you played on that map. It had rich Vespian geysers, basically like on the low ground, away from your natural, but yeah, I don't know. Bad with map names. Very bad with it. But it could be. It did have a very good Nida spot in the main. It's the map where Terra players would often build their barracks outside on the bottom side of the map, and then it would float it over into the corner of the main if you spawn in the bottom left. But doesn't matter, guys. I'm not gonna sit here and play the map guessing name all game long. I'll look it up. I can go through the official map pools. But it wasn't Golden One. No, the classic Blink DT map is a different map. I don't know which one you mean. That was a spin-off of another one that was very similar. There was like Blue Dream and Redshift or something, whatever. No, not that one. It's fine, Roddy, who cares? Exactly. TLDR was not Golden Wall. That's the original point. Golden Wall is the map that we had M. Canning have that amazing Mothership playing, and Scarlett, and obviously some great games of Clem on Golden Wall against ShoWTime, and Clem was still rising through the ranks, and he was good, but he was still the underdog. And Gerald is gonna send 2 adapts to the other side of the map. Snipes a drone. He is thinking about them. Ooh, that's actually kind of a cute play. Elazer is gonna check to see if they're there, and they are there, but he doesn't really want to take that fight. Purity and Industry. Purity and Industry is a map that I do have warm memories of, and I know that one. Because A, that is the map that Serral Nidus networked me on my birthday. Because Serral said I could not get away with the gold. I personally would fight Serral over that statement. And 2, I beat Christianer in game 3 of a PvP on Purity and Industry. And because of that, I got 10 Wardy TV points. Woohoo! And as a man who tried many times, those Wardy TV points are not easy to get. I was very, very proud of that. Gerald should not be proud of what he's done with these 2 adepts, since he just kind of forgot about them. Now he does have a follow-up play. He went for a War Prism. He picked up a probe. What am I looking at, guys? What are we cooking over here? How many? Okay, I guess this is not a real mineral line, but so we're taking the gold. On the other side, where there is no Vespian geyser, then we can mine a little bit of these mineral fields as well, and we can double expand. This is wild. Purity and Industry is the map with all the slow zones. Between like top left side main, bottom right side main, all the slow zones. Elazer just casually walks all the Zerglings through, so I guess we mined out some minerals somewhere. Gerald Duff walked in 1 DT. I'm very happy to see that he cancelled that Nexus. We are obviously playing, guys, on the PTR, and that means there is a little bit of ping, as this server is in the United States of America, basically US Central. So waiting that long to cancel your Nexus is very risky. I look at this game and to me it feels that Gerald is overcooking a little bit. But it might still go somewhere. Elazer's drone count at this point is not that intimidating. But any 6-minute game where a Protoss has killed one drone doesn't really excite me. This is kind of the shape of this matchup. I think as a Protoss you need to be killing some workers. Are these collapsible works? Yeah. So wait, this is now a full wall off? Okay, they go on this side. I don't know if Gerald knew that. But he has walled off the bottom. And we now go from 2 all the way up to 4 bases. This is starting to look like a co-op mission to me, I'll be that honest. We are certainly gaming. I wonder if Gerald knows what he's up to. We got Disruptors on the way, we've got Blink on the way. At the end of the day, guys, do not forget there is $150 on the line for this single best of 5, and Elazer is not here to really entertain us on the new patch. If I put money on the line, I know that these guys will just play for the dub. And if Elazer can win by just spamming a whole bunch of Zerglings and Roaches and put them in Dropalords, he's going to do that. If he thinks that is the play, it's always risky against Disruptors. And he does fire up a hive. Feel like Tempest would be broken on this map. I often feel that Tempest would be broken until I actually build Tempest and then they don't deal any damage. You should know the amount of times that I tried to build Tempest on Ghost River. I'm like, oh, it should be so broken on this map. And then I can't even kill a queen. And then my Tempest died to Disruptors. No, this was certainly an interaction. One sweet Nova! Dealt a lot of damage. Did not really kill that much, but it dealt a lot of damage. One more sweet Nova. And there's the Roaches and Lynx working hard on this gate. I mean, Gerald is kind of fully walled in. It's very difficult for Elazer to attack. Elazer does have a 20 worker lead. I wouldn't hate a couple cannons and batteries here, guys. Or at the bare minimum, 1 battery, 1 cannon. And Gerald is trying to drop a Disruptor to fire a Nova. He fires one and he kills a couple Roaches. The other ones survive at low on HP. Now the Blinkstalker army shows up to save the day. How big are these balls? Not that big. They just kind of tickle. Nova does not one-shot a Roach. No. It deals a lot of damage, but it does not one-shot a Roach. And like, just because you don't kill units, guys, that doesn't mean that it's not good. Because it's not like you have to really be mega worried about a bunch of Roaches that survive with 30 HP. Like, that's 2 Stalker shots. I still think that Stalker, Disruptor, and Immortals are going to be good. Now, the fact that the Elazer is in the natural of Gerald, that's maybe not all that good. So, the next score is going to try to get saved by the battery. Battery's out of energy. He could have used that battery thing there, but he does not do it. He's going to rebuild his wall. I don't hate it for Gerald, but this is one of these games where it's like you made your bed and now you have to lay in it, and it's just not very comfortable. Everywhere I go, there's one of those Jellycat toys. It's either a dragon or a rugby or a baseball or an American football. It's like I can't move in my own bed anymore. That's kind of what Gerald has over here. Send a sick Nova, but it does not one-shoot all these Roaches. And now we do see the power of this on the side of the Zerg. That a lot of these Roaches do survive. The Blinkstalkers are here to save the day once more. Units lost, resource tab show us that Elazer's lost a little bit more, like 1,000, but that's completely acceptable. Hive tech is done. First Vipers are on the way. Gerald is going to try to get Storm. Never making Disruptors again. They look so impotent. Mate, on your level, I've seen you fire a couple of Disruptors. I wouldn't recommend you making them at all. Even if they would one-shot half the map, I still don't trust you to land one. So don't worry about it. Nothing for you to be concerned of, Colin. Gerald finds a bunch of these Roaches. If he blinks on top of them, we'll kill all of them. But maybe the era of the Roach, the time of the Roach in this game is kind of over. Nice Esports World Cup branding. Is this a sign, guys? That we already have the branding, or is that just me? Do I just have that mod? A few more Novas, Doodland. Look at these Novas, guys. They just don't kill anything. Wait, actually, the Zerg army kind of disappeared. But we do have a Zergling run by. Fully surrounding the fourth base of Gerald. Can this battery heal the Nexus? Yes, but no overcharge does hurt here. With overcharge, that Nexus lives. Without overcharge, it doesn't. I was ready to make fun of that Nova, but he actually killed the 3 Zerglings. So I was like, fair play, you know. Can't even banter it. Now, Elazer casually fires up 9 Ultras. But I do think this is a mega choky map. And I just wonder if we can actually find a surface area for 9 Ultras to fire. Like, obviously, if Gerald's army like gets surrounded well, where do you even get surrounded here, man? Cancel. He does cancel the Nexus. I'm kind of worried, guys. That I feel like this is more of a lurker map than it is a ultra map. And obviously, since Disruptors did get nerfed against lurkers, maybe lurkers would have been a better play here. Or Broodlords, if they're viable, I don't know. If we can somehow get us around on the side of Elazer, yeah, then these ultras will cook, but I just don't see how you surround here. Yeah, they do push units away. Well, let's see. I don't know, guys. It's the first time I see this kind of a fight on this patch. No idea what to expect. See a couple of Novas fly forward. The Ultras are kind of doing their thing. Gerald blows up some of his own units. I don't recommend that play. The Zerglings definitely causing some issues once more on these probe lines, and that's a problem. A couple of Ravages on the other side of the middle line. That's cool. As Elazer sneaks Zerglings all the way into the main base. He's killed 19 workers. And Gerald is down to 38 probes. And Elazer is just expanding like a mad lad. What is this? Like buy 2, get 1 free? So many hatcheries everywhere I look. And now I got Vipers in the mix too. Gerald's got 123 army supply, but he's gonna have to put it to good use very, very soon. Otherwise, I think this game is over. And I think Elazer doesn't even really need to fight him, right? He can just kind of base trade him. I'm very worried here for Gerald, but let's see if he can take one hell of a fight, as he does land a couple of feedbacks, sends in a few Novas. The Novas are dealing some damage, but the Zerglings come in from the bottom left, and now it is a Zerg surround all over those High Templars, all over the Disruptors, and Zerglings and Ultras shine bright like a diamond. Gerald could not possibly win that fight with the way that it went. Beautiful surround by Elazer. And I think at this point this game is over, because Gerald does not have the economy to rebuild all the units he just lost there. And it was an expensive fight for Elazer too, but it doesn't really matter, right? Elazer has bases for days, has workers for days, has a bit of a piggy bank. And Gerald simply does not have that. Very sweet surround there by Elazer. Not easy to get a surround on this map. Like, look at how choky all of this is. And you wonder, how do Zerglings and Ultras shine? Well, apparently like that. War Prism drops a single DT. Oh. It always makes me kind of sad when I see the Protoss on 87 supply busting out the 1 DT drop to kill a hatchery. And then you look at the Zerg production tab. 8 Ultras, Great Aspire, New Base, 3-3. Oh. It's kind of sad. It is kind of sad. War Prism flies into a few Corruptors. Will most likely get picked off. I don't think recall is available. It is. Well, this game kind of over. Elazer has done a very good job in shutting down the economy of Gerald. I don't like what Gerald was thinking of, but just like Dynasty, it is sometimes very difficult to defend these mineral lines when the army is on the other side. And I don't think Gerald really got very good value out of all these weird bases that he took. He accidentally misclicked there for a split second, but it doesn't really matter. With overwhelming swarm numbers, it is Elazer who takes the 2-0 lead. Things look a bit dicey for Gerald. He said earlier this feels like a co-op mission. It just felt so weird, man. Like bases going up everywhere, mineral lines all over the place, left side minerals, top side minerals, more bottom left side minerals. Yeah, well played by Elazer. Gerald also supply blocked, by the way, guys, for 3 minutes in a 15-minute game. Like, Elazer a little bit cleaner in that regard, but overall, I think Gerald overcooked with his build a little bit. Just didn't really go his way. the Elazer overlords. Not even that much of a thing anymore. And game 3 could be our final game of the night here. 10 PM on the Friday. It's been another fun Friday. We did have a lot of downtime today, but besides that, I still think we saw some cool plays. We saw some nice moves. We had a good time overall. Let's do it. Hopefully, it is not the final game yet, though.
Round 3. Fight.
In the bottom left side, representing Team Liquid, one of the best Stormgate players on the planet. One hell of a Kelvin. And of course, it's still amazing in Starcraft 2. It is our Polish Zerg, Elazer. One map away from 150 buckies as he goes up against a fellow Protoss player. Polish Protoss. Representing his brand new team, Streamer Zone, this is Gerald. This map reminds me a very tiny bit of 16-bit. If you guys remember that map. Not a whole lot, obviously, because they don't even have that much in common, but it's kind of like the theme and the way that a lot of the choky areas work. Give me some 16-bit vibes. But it does look very nice. I don't really have a problem with any of the maps that I've played on so far, even though the one that we just saw, El Dorado, the Golden Wall version, is very weird. And then the map with all the rocks in the center is a little bit annoying too. I almost wish there was like maybe a mineral patch that you could mine out, that at least some units can go through the center. I feel like that would create more interesting scenarios. Let's say like a mineral patch with 10 minerals, right? And then you can, or 5 even. And you cannot go with an entire army through it, but at least a couple units can go through it. Something like that would be more fun, I think, than 16,000 HP of rock. Main base tiny. I wouldn't say mega tiny. Somewhat small, but not mega small. There is room to drop for the Terrans, guys. I saw that Clem made some tweets, by the way, guys, about the patch. I'm sure that was received incredibly well. Even though I think he had reasonable takes, but no bad comments on Clem's tweet. I mean, to be fair, Twitter is not that active, right? I feel like Twitter is mostly active by people that actually work in the industry, or not too many casual fans on Twitter these days. Yeah, it was reasonable, but just because your take is reasonable, that doesn't mean that the reception will be reasonable. Maybe the entire Starcraft community will move over to Blue Sky or Threads. But I'm gonna pass, guys. I'm happy with my Discord. I have a great little Discord community. I love being on Twitch. And I'm not making any more new accounts. Not TikTok, not Blue Sky, not Threads. I'm done. I don't believe in it anymore. "45 new Blue Sky users." Where is popping up, mate? Gerald opening up with a couple of adepts and oracles once more. Now less queens, but way more powerful spore crawlers. I did the math earlier in one of my ladder games, and it takes 9 spore crawler shots, guys, to kill a phoenix. I don't know how anybody expects me to ever keep a phoenix alive if it dies as quickly as 9 shots to a spore crawler. And oracles, they die even quicker. I haven't done the math, but I'm gonna go 7 or 8. Hello, Smoke Ping. Thank you, Maxime. Have a good evening, matey. 8! I mean, come on. But like, Phoenixes, I think it's okay if they go low on HP, but Oracles are not the kind of unit that should ever really take more damage than just the shield, so I think for Oracles, the Spore Crawl above is a big problem. For Phoenix, it's kind of a, no, you can't be doing this kind of stuff. Like, obviously, it's very rarely just a Spore. More often than not, it is a Spore and a Queen. Gotta be careful here, Gerald. He's gone double Oracle. It's a shame. Goes for the double stasis trappy. It's a lot of lost mining time here. It's not really any real damage, but the indirect damage is adding up. Look at this. Elazer fuming. Say goodbye to Pulsar Beam, guys. Stasis Trap is my new best friend. Please Stasis Trap all day. A triple. Ay caramba. Also, by the way, with the new energy ability on the Nexus, it's not that bad anymore to activate Pulsar Beam for a couple of links that are poking, and then you cancel it. Like, it kind of sucks, but you can always just recharge the energy like this. That's not an interaction I thought of before, but actually, it's less punishing right now to use Pulsar Beam at the wrong moment. And for the people who don't know, obviously it takes 25 energy to activate Pulsar Beam on an Oracle. So in the past, you really had to think wisely about whether or not you want to activate it. Now, I'd say that's a little bit less the case. Hello, Lino. Have you landed, mate? Where are you at right now? You definitely get the Vicky pickup. I think I'm gonna be cooking. I see some steaks in the kitchen. I mean, Vicky or Roddy making the steaks. I know what I'm picking. Just kidding. I hope she's not listening. I'm definitely not picking my own. It's guaranteed food poisoning immediately. Someone's gonna make those steaks. Someone's gonna pick up the Lino. Dutch trains are as late as DB. In general, the Dutch trains I think are pretty good, but maybe the later on in the day, the more random it gets. As one big stasis trap did connect. There were a lot of Zerglings getting the Serral on a pylon here on the low ground. Elazer is only on 57 workers, guys. He's gonna full send it. I said it earlier. Elazer is not in the business of trying to make this a pretty series. He's not here to put on a show. He says 150 bucks for the win. I am playing for the win. And if I can get the W by just building a lot of Zerglings and Roaches, I am going to do it. Gerald is queuing up the Desperation Void Ray, but it's a little bit late. He's sitting on 1100 minerals, 300 gas. He just has no army. Gerald just has a no army. And in the third base, the Zerglings are dancing, the Roaches are dancing. And I do think Overcharge was incredibly powerful, but I'm not sure if that would have saved us here. Or maybe Battle Oracles would have killed more drones, Lord knows. But I think the biggest problem is this guy that Gerald did not do a very good job in spending his money. GG gets called, and it's a clean 3-0, a quick 3-0 by the Polish RTS legend Elazer, representing Team Liquid. That was not the series for Gerald. Elazer looked pretty good, looked sharp. For a man that we barely saw in the last few months, turns out he's still one hell of a StarCraft 2 player, guys. Who could have thought? Who could have thought? Final game, obviously Elazer just making a lot of units of 57 drones, while Gerald is up on 70 something, 71, 72 probes, and going for Storm and floating money. It's a very big difference. That means that two boys over at Epic Land got the win. Two boys over at Epic Land did not manage to get the dub. Full night of results is Doomred 3-0 EXO. Roscoe from Epic Land 3-0ing Lock. We had Paddy Mac in definitely the highlight of the night, getting a 3-2 victory over Deca. I think that those series were incredibly fun. And last but not least, we had Elazer getting a pretty convincing 3-0 over Gerald, where I think maybe Gerald had opportunities in Game 2. In Game 1 and Game 3, it just... overcooking a little. Few too many things at once. Double Robo not used. Double Fleet Beacon not used in Game 1. Final game, sitting on 1,000 minerals, having a 14 worker lead, going up the Storm. It's just I think that if you give Gerald some time, and maybe he gets a bit more familiar with the PTR, maybe it looks better. Who knows?